What up, guys? My name is Megan, and let me tell you a little bit about myself. I love the Reading Rush. I have participated in it probably for the past 3 years, and I've always failed. Always. I'm horrible at it, but I love it. I love to participate. And during these really stressful times, we have been given a gift by Ariel and Raylene, and that is the Stay at Home Reading Rush. And I'm so excited. So, this is just a mini reading rush basically, and it's going to take place April 16th through the 19th. Just a quick little weekend of reading, and I'm excited. They put together a little tag TBR thing that I am going to do for you today. So, without further ado, here it is. The first question of the Stay at Home Reading Rush tag is, how is your reading going while in isolation, quarantine, or whatever your situation is? And my situation is a little different. I actually am an essential worker. I work at my public library, and so I go there every day and I clean the books that have been handled by people. So I still go to work, and it's really not that different of a lifestyle for me. I stay at home every other time when I'm not at work, just like I did before. But my reading actually has decreased in frequency. I am not reading as much. I don't know if it's due to the situation or if it's due to Animal Crossing, but it's okay. It's fine. The next question is, where have you been reading at home? And like I said, because I still go to work, I actually have the privilege of listening to audiobooks while at work. I do the majority of my reading there. Every day I get 4 or 5 hours a day at work of audiobook listening, and then I come home and I probably read 50, 100 pages maybe every day. So yeah, my readings, I read, on my couch, in my bed, and then at work. The next question of the tag is the best book you've read while in isolation. And mine actually was an audiobook that I listened to at work, and that is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I am not the biggest thriller reader. I'm a big scaredy cat. I'm trying to get over it, trying to toughen up, but this book blew me away. I loved it. I think it was the second thriller I've ever listened to. I don't think I've ever read a thriller. It was amazing. If you don't know what this story is about, it is about a young woman who is poor. She's struggling finding a place to live and a job, and she stumbles across this little help wanted, which is asking for apartment sitters. And the catch is you apartment sit for an extreme amount of money in this extremely luxurious apartment complex. And so she gets there and she stays there for only a couple days, and she starts to realize that things are not as great as they seem. And it's so good. I actually knew, because I am a scaredy cat, I looked up spoilers for the thriller, and so I knew what happened, but even when the twist came, I was still just blown away. The next book is your favorite feel-good book. So I feel like most people would say Harry Potter, which is a definite given. I actually have a feel-good book that I read anytime I'm upset that's not Harry Potter, and that is In Your Room by Jordana Fraiberg. So In Your Room follows two characters, Molly and Chase, and they live very different lives. She's very artistic, she's into fashion design, and then he's very outdoorsy, loves to bike. And he also lives in, I think, Colorado, and she lives in California. And one day their parents decide to house swap for the summer. And so both of them are just uprooted for the summer and have to go to a completely different town, completely different house, and actually they end up staying in each other's rooms, which is how they kind of get to know each other. They snoop around the room and they start up an email IM conversation. It's really cute. It's so just lighthearted. There is I don't want to say heavy topics or super serious topics, but there's a lot of topics in here that it briefly mentions that you just wouldn't expect a book published in the early 2000s to. It talks about having lesbian parents. It talks about adoption. It talks about city gossip, and then friendships and how friendships can be tough, especially when you're trying to start a different relationship. The next question of the stay-at-home readathon tag is a book you wish you could buy or borrow from your library. And so, as I said, I actually work at the library, and I'm so glad I get to still get to pick at the books. You know, I still get to see all the new ones and pick out all I want. And speaking of, I actually just recently borrowed a book that I'm very excited to read, and that book is House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. Yeah, Earth and Blood. I always want to call it Crescent City, because why title the book something super small and long and then put everything else really big? I don't know. It's not my place. Not in my place. But so this is Sarah J. Maas's first adult fantasy. I think. Don't quote me. I don't know. I have a very tenuous relationship with Sarah J. Maas. I have only read her Throne of Glass series. I just finished it earlier this year, and I both hate it with all my heart and I love it with all my heart. I think Sarah J. Maas's writings have a lot of flaws. I think that they're very redundant and very cliche, but at the same time, it's just such an addicting read that I have to give her props. She made something that I would literally groan at the pages, and she made me want to just keep reading, and I have to applaud that. So when this book came out, I was like, I'm not reading that. I'm not putting myself through anymore. But then I thought about it, and I saw it, and I was like, ugh, I am trash for trash books. So the next question is an author you want to shout out during this time. I kind of want to shout out all authors and all aspiring authors. This time is so hard, especially for like publishing books. I know Tahereh Mafi is publishing her newest book of like the last of the Shatter Me series, and that's gonna be so hard. I mean, luckily she already has a fan base for that. She has an audience for that, so she's a lot lucky. But you know, small authors, indie published authors who were planning on publishing a book during this time, it's got to be so rough. And so we really, you know, support all that you can for these smaller authors. It's got to be a tough time. The next question is your stay-at-home Reading Rush TBR. And my TBR is tiny. Let me tell you the 4 prompts, and then I'll tell you the one book that I chose. First prompt is read a book with a house on the cover. The second prompt is read a book in one spot, one room the whole time. The next question is read a book that is set in a place you wish you could go to. And the last prompt is read a book that makes you smile. I am going to read one book for this weekend, or for the weekend of the stay-at-home reading rush, and that is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So I'm stretching it a little for the first prompt, read a book with a house on the cover. These is the special edition, and it's got, you know, Diagon Alley, and so I'm gonna just kind of pretend that these are also apartments and that people live in them, and that an apartment counts as a house. A house is a home, home is a house. I'm gonna count it. I don't think Ariel or Raylene are gonna fight me on it. It's fine. So yeah, I'm just going to read this book. If you don't know what it's about, I don't know, get a life. Really excited to read this. I am participating actually in the Owl's Magical Readathon, which is a month-long readathon. I'm trying to participate. I'm currently failing. So maybe the stay-at-home reading rush is exactly what I need. This is exactly what I need to push me through the books that I'm struggling with. So that's the whole reading rush tag and my TBR. I just want to say like a big thank you to Ariel and Raylene for putting this together, and they did it so quick. And so like really like shout out to them and all the people who are participating to try and take your mind off this like super stressful time. You should go ahead and check out Ariel's video about it. I'm sure you have if you're at mine. But they're partnering with a charity that where you buy their special limited time bookmarks, you will be supporting small book shops. And that's so good. Like I said, small authors, small bookshops, they just need all the help they can get right now. So I will definitely be taking part in that, and I really hope that you will too. And if not, just take part of the reading rush, man. This is gonna be a good time. We are blessed with I guess pre-part 1, part 2, I don't know, but I'm excited. Hopefully if I win this one, I'll win the summer one. But that might be looking too far into the future. So anyways, thank you for watching. I can't wait to see how I do during the stay-at-home reading rush, and I can't wait to watch everyone's videos. Bye!